right, what an episode that was. The final slap. We are here. Road to the Title 3 just finished up, and we got a very special guest joining us here today. Delvin Hamlett. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. How you doing yourself?
Really
Thanks
good.
for
Been a
having me.
long time. Long time since we
Yeah,
spoke.
it has.
Congratulations. I know you're doing some rugby. You guys did incredibly well. Did you guys win the national championship?
Yeah, we won. Yeah.
Awesome.
2024 champs.
Awesome, my man. Congratulations. That's a big feat for you. I know everybody here appreciates what you do. That light heavyweight division is certainly a killer. But what do you think of these guys that you're seeing on Road to the Title Season 3 so far?
They ain't got nothing on Season 2, but you know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. They new to it or whatnot. But they got to work on their strikes. They got some weird windups. I don't know what they got going on.
Yeah, I mean, so you've seen a couple different styles here today. Obviously, we've got Coach Robert Trujillo and Austin Turpin training them, getting these guys ready. I think it's still round one. So obviously, we're still going to see more to come. The more the opportunities guys get in the gym to kind of work on their craft. I think we'll see it's nothing really too different than what we've seen on the previous seasons, so far. But overall, anybody stand out to you whatsoever?
I still got some more to watch, whatnot. I don't have no specific ones, but there's the roster's growing, so there's a lot of new faces and people get to know and whatnot. But
yeah,
I'm sure I found somebody.
For sure. Talk to me about the health of the light heavyweight division, because I think it's the most entertaining division of all of Power Slap. But talk to me about the excitement there. Obviously, we've got Wolverine, we've got Turpin, we've got Russell, we've got Vern, we've got yourself, we've got Alan Klingbeil, who will make an appearance on the show later on. How do you think the health of it overall is, and is there someone that you're eyeing up next?
Yeah, it's definitely stocked with a lot of talent. It's a lot of us, a lot of heavy hitters. But anyway, they got me ranked number 6. So anybody 5 and up, and I want anybody 5 and up. But I take anybody as long as it's a live show. Anybody, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's a little low for you to be at number 6?
You said what?
Do you think it's a little low at number 6? Just the way you said it, it sounded like you're a little lower ranked than you thought you'd be.
Nah, after my loss, it's fair. I can see, but hopefully we can work it up. I'm trying to level up. I ain't trying to stay 6 or go any lower. So
absolutely,
definitely want to come back, and go for that. Gotta go for the number 1 spot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all of them.
Yeah, for sure. Did you get a chance to see Garrett Blakesley at all on the show when you were there?
Yeah, I seen him. Yeah.
What do you think of him? Yeah, I know he's at number 4 right now. Would that be a match that would interest you?
Yeah, I wouldn't turn it down. That'd be nice if he's ahead of me. Yeah, I gotta get him out of there. He could be next. It doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know he had an injury earlier in the spring. He should be ready to come in the fall.
Yeah, I think he's good to go.
Yeah, Power Slap number 9 is going to be in Abu Dhabi. It looks like we may have one more event before the end of the year, just from the rumors that I've been hearing around. But
that'd be nice.
From all accounts, you ready to go? Erica or Frank calls you. You ready to take?
Of course, I'm always available. They know the number. Just give me a ring, and I'll be there.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit more, man, about the country hoodlum kind of thing you got going on. I know you got T-shirts and stuff like that. And talk to me about what the brand means and how it embodies you.
So, like a lot of people say they from the hood. I don't consider myself from the hood. I'm from the woods. So it's basically like country and ghetto put together. So, and it's more like a definition. I'm like a living definition of a country hoodlum. So it's, good whatever in the streets, in the country, whatever. I adapt to my environment. So it's, but it's going now. It's turned to a brand, as you see.
Yeah. Nice, man. Where can people get your T-shirts?
Just hit me in the DM, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I got a Country Hoodlum fan page. So just DM me, let me know the size, and I'll get it on the way.
Awesome, man. I see you're an Atlanta Falcons fan. Are you getting excited for the football season?
Yeah, I'm hoping they do all right,
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is,
Yeah. Well, they've got a new quarterback, Kirk Cousins, got a great second-year running back in Bijan Robinson.
Can't hope for the best. Every year is the same, so.
Yeah. Did you ever play ball growing up?
Yeah, I played football until like my 9th grade year, and then I stopped after 9th grade.
Okay. What happened? It wasn't cool anymore? You decided to chase the girls instead?
Yeah, I wanted to be outside. I can't be outside and at practice at the same time. So don't get me wrong, it's probably one of my biggest regrets, but it happened. Can't change it now. So
awesome, man. How did you come across rugby? Like, how'd you get involved in that and when?
So my senior year, I lived at these apartments, and one of the guys I knew there was playing it was like under 18. He was playing rugby and whatnot. So he said, "Yeah, the coach would come pick me up," and then I like, shoot, I catch a ride, and I played that season, and then some years went by, and me and this one guy named Chris Frazier, we was on the same. We did Rough and Rowdy together, but we didn't know each other, but we both boxed on the same card, and he reached out to me because he knew I played rugby, and was like, "Yeah, we got a tryout, so you come out and try out." And that was like 2-3 years ago, and I tried out for DC Calvary, and I've been playing with him since.
Awesome, man. I mean, it's always great to see you,
like
man.
Some meant to be stuff, something.
That's great, dude. I know it's great to see you, man. You're staying active. I see you on social all the time working it. You got your brand happening. From everybody here at Slap News, we hope we see you back up there again real soon, my man.
Thank you. Gladly appreciate it.
Awesome. I know we tried to make this work last week. It didn't work out, but we got you back this week.
It's all good. I
appreciate you, man.
You got me on. That's all that matters. You got me on there.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. If you need anything, just reach out anytime, all right?
I appreciate you.
Okay. All right. Take care, my man. Thank you.
You too.
All right. Delvin Hamlett, just spoke to him a little bit about everything he's got going on, but let's transition over Road to the Title Season 3. We just finished the episode. We've got a lot of great stuff to break down for you. But a little bit more in the house. I mean, there was a twist there. Dana dropped it to us. Obviously, Neil Thomasson coming in last minute, that match taking place against Rayden Bombardier at middleweight. Looks like two natural welterweights, originally. But, good thing for Rayden to be able to make that happen, make some compromises. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in that game for sure, as it relates to, making these matches happen in the format that it is. These guys fight twice, in back-to-back weeks, overall, approximately 3 weeks total that they do this filming. And so, to make this happen in such short order and with the, kind of guys coming in the first time they're ever putting their palm on somebody's chin, it's impressive to see. And, new guys coming in and out. It's cool to see. So I'm sure you hear on the show a lot of times they talk about the Homeboy Hotel. Or at least in seasons past, they have season 1, season 2. You also hear it on Road or on Tough as well. I talk about the Homeboy Hotel. It's a hotel in Vegas that they hold fighters that aren't in the house in case of situations like this. Guys that they're saying, stay ready, but you're not in the house, you're not on the show. But if something happens, you're going to fill in for these particular, types of situations. And we've seen it here tonight again. I mean, Rayden's going to be joining us tonight. I know we've got him lined up. We also have Tracey lined up, and Pono Paul is also going to join us. So these guys are going to be coming in a little bit later. But, overall, a great episode, I think, was great to see. We didn't see any fights this time. I mean, they've been touting these fights for a very, very long time. We didn't get to see them as of yet. But we're not seeing a whole lot of the fights in the house. We're just seeing 3 back-to-back matches. Looks like next week, they kind of tease it at the end, the last of the round 1 matches to take place. We'll be finishing up, and then we'll be moving on to the second round. Some guys we'll see. Are they going home? Are they not? From some of the, tidbits we've been getting from some of the previews, it looks like some guys that have lost are sticking around. So we're going to see, more guys in the house. I think it's great to get more experience. The rosters keep expanding, with the season 3 guys, the Power Slap roster now is probably over 200 athletes that are under contract. So I think that's going to be quite interesting to see. We talked about it yesterday. How are we going to get these guys active? How are we going to get them more matches? How are we going to get them the experience? Power Slap number 9 coming up October 24th in Abu Dhabi. And as you know, Slap News will be there for sure. And so we're incredibly excited to make all of that happen for you guys, and be able to bring you guys next level coverage. We always do our pre-fight interviews. We always do the post-fight interviews, but we'll have some stuff for you guys. I'm not sure how the connectivity will be there, but we'll definitely make sure that we get you guys as much behind the scenes footage as we possibly can, and keep bringing you guys, unprecedented coverage in the world of slap fighting. So yeah, everything is going good on on that front. My man Ding couldn't join us here today. He's on vacation, but honestly, I appreciate everybody joining us, whether you're watching live or you're watching the playback on YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble. We appreciate everybody, whether you're in your car, whether you're working out, doing cardio, whatever it is that you're doing, you're taking those moments to be with us. You could be anywhere else, and we appreciate and love all of our followers that come along for this journey. We want to keep bringing you guys, really good content and strive to be some of the best in the game wherever we can. But I'm just waiting for our next guest to come in here. He's not quite here yet, so we're just going to keep on moving on here. We've got, who do we got next? We've got Vince Tracey, just waiting for Vince to join in. Not 100% sure where he's at this moment. So I'm going to talk through the Vince fight right now, just in case he decides to no show on us. But I'm going to play the fight, and I will talk through it. So Vince coming in with less of the slap score. We see both these guys obviously making weight. Dominik slightly under at 168.5. So just kind of moving on, coming here. I actually thought this was quite interesting, to be honest. In round one of this match, Vince Tracey, kind of that calm, cool, collected guy, confident, but also, a little bit cocky at the same time. Great slap on Vince this player. Didn't stumble Dominik whatsoever. But land on the chin. Dominik has had his chin quite high, giving Vince a very wide target to hit. Very interesting style on that aspect. So now Dominik's turn to come up. We've got a right on 3 for Dominik. Let's see what Vince Tracey has. Vince looking down, which I think is interesting. Not into his eyes, but he's looking more towards his chest. Very focused in on himself and not what Dominik is doing. Hits him square on the jaw on that one. Stumbles Vince back. See Austin going crazy, but the ref counting him in. He's looking good at this point. Doesn't look to be too wobbled. Ref allows him to continue. Vince, fellow Canadian. I know I'm biased on that front, but closed his eyes at the last minute. They're interesting. I was just saying before, I didn't think he was really looking at what Dominik was doing too much, but out of the corner of his eye, closes it up. Dominik talking a lot of trash. See Dominik's chin's up, raised again, which I think is quite interesting. He's holding up quite high, giving Vince a really good target to hit upon. So right on 3, hits him, walls him. He's down that time. Gets back up real fast, though, however. All right. Going through it right now. I'm going to see. Vince, my man, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you, Vince. Sorry, man.
Right on.
I started the fight without you, man. We're in round 2. You just sat down Dominik.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I kind of screwed up round 1 there, both on my defense and offense. I'm sure everybody already commented on that, but we put him on some skates there, though.
Yeah, a couple of things, man. His chin is really high. I think he's squaring up his chin to give you a really, really big target. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, he was definitely, I call it hanging. Definitely hanging that chin over that table pretty deep. Yeah, for sure.
Talk to me about this. You're looking down at his chest. You're not looking into his eyes. It doesn't look like anything else is really, taking your focus away.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching his shoulder, watching like the movement for it to come in. Definitely had a lot better timing on that. The second strike there, and obviously it was a lot low, but you can get hit in the neck and get knocked out pretty good too. So
totally. So he gets called for a clubbing on that one. Kind of a late call club. It almost looks like he missed you more than anything.
Yeah, well, actually, that one gave me more of a bruise than the first shot did. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I had more of a bruise along the neck and swelling on the neck than on the face. So
gotcha.
I don't know if I'm just built different or what, but
yeah,
first one definitely hurt more, I would say.
Yeah. Going into this third round, obviously with the foul to Dominik, you must be feeling good. Thinking if you get a clean strike, that you'll be up on the card.
Yeah, we just had to lock it in and find it, and I think that was probably the worst. He hung it out there, and I made him pay for it for sure.
Yeah, you sit him down on that one. You hear Dana. I'm sure you couldn't hear Dana up there, but had some really good words for you watching the show back.
Oh yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool from a legend like that.
100%. I mean, the accumulation of damage, obviously you come out victorious in this one. Great to see you representing for Canada, my man. There's a ton
Hey, that's
of
another
Canadians
Canadian. I was just going to say that's another Canadian in the books here, and we still got another Canadian to go. So yeah, we're making waves. We're definitely coming up in the scene, and the support has been tremendous. It's really been a blessing. I thought, a lot of speculation and other things, but now it's kind of changed, and it's people are starting to understand the sport a lot more, and especially when you break it down to them, and like they start asking questions and start kind of picking your brain, and it's like, oh, well, there is actually stuff to this. It's not just guys swinging at each other, and it's not like a bar thing, you know what I mean, or something like that. So we're starting to get more respect, and the sport's going like crazy, which I can't believe. It's incredible.
Yeah, I want to say, man, I feel like you reached out to me over a year ago. I've known about you for a very, very long time. I know you've been trying to get on the Power Slap. We've had a lot of combos back channel. I mean, honestly, dude, I'm really happy for you that you made it here.
Appreciate that.
Made it onto the show. You had a phenomenal debut. I mean, how good does it feel to actually see yourself up there? Because I know you've gone through a lot for your family. I know your wife has made sacrifices as well for you to be able to do this. How good does it feel?
It feels incredible. It was funny because we were talking about it earlier, and at the house, you didn't really get that time to really enjoy the high of a win. Like normally you have a couple weeks where you get some downtime, and you know what I mean, you get to eat whatever you want and kind of really enjoy yourself. But it was straight into kill mode. It was, you know what I mean? So it was a lot different. And again, we didn't have our families or phones or anything, so no one knew, and we couldn't really express it with anybody. So it was a crazy experience. I definitely have a lot of respect for the guys that went through season 1 and 2 and all the tough seasons and all that stuff. It's a lot different when you're actually in the scenario of it all. So yeah, it absolutely incredible. And we really got to enjoy it tonight. And, you can only say so much to the wife until you actually see it. You know what I mean? Then it's like, it becomes more real. And, she was pretty overwhelmed and pretty happy with everything. And so, yeah, no, it's incredible. I'm really enjoying the moment.
Awesome, man. I mean, it's great to see you're here, your debut, you're part of the family now. Let's talk a little bit about the match. In that round, we heard Austin screaming at the catcher to not catch you. Do you think you would have fallen if the catcher wouldn't have braced you?
Honestly, he kind of caught me, and that's when I kind of jumped up, and then I kind of did a little spin, and then we kind of got tangled up in each other more or less. So I think it made it look a little worse than what it was, because I was fully had my wits about me. I even looked at Mark Smith, and I was like, "What are you counting for?" I'm like, "I didn't even fall or nothing like that." And he's like, "Oh, it's just because how you were." He's like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then it was good to go. But in my mind, I was like, "Oh, just make it look good. Don't make it look like he stunned you or wobbled you. Just go to the table. Get your wits about you." So I was kind of running that in my head, and maybe my feet were getting too far ahead of myself, and that's what got kind of tangled up with the catcher and stuff like that. But yeah, hilarious hearing Terp in the corner. Let him fall, and I'm like, I really don't think I would have fallen, but I mean, everybody's gonna have their opinion, right? So
yeah. 100%. Were you actually surprised or impressed by Dominik's toughness after what we've seen of him and Joe Landman?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a little bit overconfident, I think, because I watched a lot of tape on that, so I knew what to kind of expect from Dom. But again, you get up there and he's evolved and he's changed a lot. So again, it was a little bit different, but at the same time, I was definitely prepared. And I think the jitters kind of got to me a little bit too. The big lights, big stage. You got some of the biggest names, sitting there in the crowd. Definitely it plays on you a little bit, right? So I just had to get that under control, and I felt like I definitely grew and got stronger as the fight went on, and I was a lot more locked in and able to focus in on what I needed to do, and not so much on what was going on around me. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I can hear you, my man. I mean, being in that environment, Dana talks about the cream rise to the top. It just seems that talent that can withstand that type of pressure cooker can move on. Talk to me about that experience, being there at the house, being with the other guys, the competitiveness, the testosterone, the egos, all that stuff.
Oh, it was all there and present for sure. And I mean, like there was even a little bit of a flu bug that went around. So I mean, we had a little bit of everything, and I'm sure in the second half we're going to see it. I know a lot of the fans have been saying, no, this happened a lot of house stuff, but I think just because there's been so many fights in round one, that round two you'll see a lot more of this house stuff. And trust me, they wouldn't put it in the promo if they're not going to show that kind of stuff. So it's definitely coming, guys. But yeah, no, it was incredible because like even when we landed in Vegas, we're all like sizing each other up. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were all doing it. We're all, you know what I mean? Like getting a feel for who's who kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like who's got experience, who was kind of like off the couch more or less, I guess you could say. But for the most part, it was quite the talent pool. Like, and like I heard some numbers about how many people applied, and like it was pretty incredible, even just to be picked on the show, let alone to be picked to be in the house as well. And you know what I mean? So I was truly grateful for everything. And yeah, it felt like the work that I had put in for the year and a bit had all kind of led up to this point and paid off, ultimately.
Awesome, my man. Appreciate it, dude. I mean, I love hearing that insight, the psyche, everything around it. Talk to me about Robert Trujillo. How much credit do you want to give him in this performance?
Oh, dude's awesome. You know, like I had a lot of people on the roster help me kind of hone in my technique and form, even before the show. But Robert like fine-tuned it to a T. You know what I mean? It was just me up there that needed to lock in. And honestly, I think I could have got the job done sooner, but hindsight's 2020, and it's your first fight. You know what I mean? I think we're entitled to make a few mistakes here and there, and it's all a learning curve. So it was awesome, but having Robert like on our team and on our side, night and day. You know what I mean? Like just the amount of experience and the knowledge of the game, and just everything he brought. Honestly, even the trainings that he was teaching us and stuff to take home, like it was all awesome. It was all incredible. And yeah, dude's a legend. You know what I mean? Future Hall of Famer, the whole 9 yards. I have no doubt about any of that. But he's gonna have some tough lightweights coming up to actually get some matches. So I'm excited to see him back soon and back on stage. And hopefully we get a belt for these lightweights, because I know they've been itching for it.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, hopefully we see it sooner than later. I mean, we've seen we've got some great lightweights there. We've seen we've got some new talent coming in the welterweight as well. So, man, I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah.
And keep up the good work, my man. We'll see you down in round 2.
All right. Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Take care, Vince. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Get after it, guys.
All right. Vince Tracey, fellow Canadian, making it happen. I mean, great to see. I know I'm biased. I'm Canadian. We've got Ding, who's away on vacay this week, giving me a hard time for all the time, but we've got to keep representing. Rayden Bombardier, how you doing, my man?
What's good, Corey?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Is it Bombardier or Bombardier?
Bombardier.
Bombardier? All right, dude. If you were in Canada, they would say Bombardier. You know it's actually a snowmobile manufacturer up here in Canada. Did you know that?
Well, my last name's actually, it is French, but I've just always went with Bombardier.
So you just changed it on me. All right, either way. So I was right, but then I was wrong. Awesome, my man. I mean, crazy story before we get into the fight. But you go to the house, you end up in some legal issues, you end up homeless, my man. Talk to me about all that stuff going on at home, and you were still able to go and perform.
Wow, like where do I even start, man? So I had my son 9 months ago, and my son's everything, man. And after I had my son, I shortly had a Muay Thai fight after that. And it was at the LA Convention Center. There was like hundreds of people there. It was a fucking amazing experience. I had a great war. And shortly after that, me and my girlfriend broke up. And I was following fighting, and she was telling me to go get like a normal job. She's like, any job, go flip some burgers, anything. And that's just, I wasn't going to be happy with that. And I decided that I was going to be living in my car, and that I would still pursue my dreams. And so I was living at the beach, and I was driving back and forth from the beach to Thousand Oaks, California every single day to just train. You know what I mean? And I was homeless, and I was showering, and just every day was a battle with my lady at that time. And just like, it was really hard. So a couple months later, Joey Varner, a UFC producer, he ended up hitting me up and asking me to be a part of the show.
Awesome, man. I mean, great to hear, dude. Talk to me kind of about the last minute substitution and all that. How did it go down? How did they bring it to you and break the news?
Yeah, so there's a lot of footage that is missing right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they like release it at some point. But you know what? We got through that fight. It's not too big of a deal. But I was coming into this fight as a welterweight. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare. You know what I mean? So I was cutting down. I got to 179. I was at a training session with Turpin because I was on Team Turpin at the time, and they pulled me out and they were like, "Hey, come over here." And I was like, why am I getting pulled out of like this group of people? And Frank's like Frank, bro, the president, telling me to come over here. And I was like, all right. And so I go and sit down, and I'm in like this like little lobby area, and Turpin's there, Frank's there, and there's all these cameramen there, and they're all like, hey man, the commission's not going to clear you because you're dropping too much weight. And I said, man, like I can make the weight, like let me make the weight. And they're like, even if you make the weight, like, you know, honestly, I have so much respect for Frank. Everybody that's seeing this right now, I have so much respect for Frank, our president, man. He looked at me as a person and was like, hey, man, I just don't think that it's a good idea for you to compete at this weight. And like, I want you to be at the best, your very best. And I don't think I'm going to see at your very best at this weight. And that's the only thing I want, is to see as your best. And, that was awesome. And, you know, as I was getting pulled out, Joey Varner was looking at me, the guy that got me in there. He was like, be ready tomorrow. Be ready tomorrow. And so I'm all fucking pissed, you know, the next day, everybody has their fights and shit. And they come up to me and they're like, yo, and it's like during the show. Like the fights are already going on, dude. You know what I mean? And so like, I'm like just sitting there not knowing that if I have a fight or not. And I'm for sure like, you know, under middleweight. And so they come up to me, they're like, yo, somebody dropped out of a fight. It's at middleweight. Do you want to take it? I threw my mouthpiece in. I was like, oh, let's go. I don't care what weight it is. I didn't know who was up there. I had no idea who was up there. It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody. I said, I don't give a fuck. I walked out. I didn't know who I was up there with until I walked up onto the stage. You know what I mean? So respect to Neil for whatever he went through too.
That's wild, my man. Crazy. So like you pretty much had like 20 minutes head start about who you're going to fight.
Yeah, I did. I didn't know who I was gonna fight. Like literally, it was crazy. And yeah, just what a wild ride. I feel like my whole entire life has been up and down and up and down. So I'm not surprised that this ride just to get through that fight was up and down. You know what I mean? So you know, fuck it, bro. I'm glad it's part of my story.
Awesome, man. So did they have to go back and film him walking into the building after the match happened? Like, isn't that crazy?
I have no idea what happened with him.
Yeah.
I know he was he left, he decided to leave actually originally.
Okay.
And then he got flown back. So, you know, I'm not gonna call anybody a quitter. I've called people a quitter in the past, but he obviously is a fighter. He came back and he fought, and respect to Neil, bro. He's a big fucking dude. And you know, I was looking at all those welterweights, I was biting my fucking chops, dude. All those guys are small as shit. You know what I mean? Like, I have respect for people, but I see myself being in the top 10 in welterweight. Like, no problem. No problem. Any of the welterweights in there, I'd have had no problem with.
Awesome, my man. I love the confidence. Let's get into your fight, all right? Let's break it down. I see Neil comes in here, which is great to see. So we've got this one taking place, obviously, at middle.
Can I address something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Slide with the slap score?
I have to start it. Unfortunately, the way it's sitting here as a video, I can't pause it for you.
It's all good.
But I'll go back again.
What I wanted to discuss was my slap score is super low, right? And so let me just say, I was so fucking sick that day. Like they said that there was a bug going around. I was sick as fuck. Like I was not feeling good from my weight cut. You know what I mean? So my slap score was low because of that. Like if they gave us multiple tries, it would have been different.
Yeah, so that number is actually accurate.
That number is accurate, but I would say it's not accurate, but it is.
Gotcha. Talk to me through this first strike. How did it feel?
It didn't feel like shit, honestly. It didn't feel like shit. The only thing I noticed was how blue his fucking eyes were.
Oh, really?
It's like a slit. Like you're looking through a little door slit, and I just see his eyes, and we just focus.
Awesome, man. Coming in round one here, we see you talking. You want to push the pace. You're getting up there in his face. Is this just who you are naturally?
Man, that's just my warrior spirit oozing, bro. I'm here to throw down, bro. No matter what martial art it is, I'm here to fight, dude. I fucking love this shit. That's me. That's fucking me.
Awesome, man. What'd you think of this first strike?
Watching it back, it kind of looks like a club, but it didn't feel like it when I did it. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was. You know, I really don't feel like it was. It felt really clean, but when I saw that, I was like, eh. But, you know, it was clean, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely looked a little bit deep, but they didn't call it. So, you know, you just keep on moving on, my man. All right, round 2. Much the same. Is your confidence building?
Yeah, I mean, I would say my confidence was always at an all-time high. I mean, even now, like all the time, I always have my confidence, man. I believe in myself, and I don't need anybody else to believe in me besides myself. This run-up is awesome. Look at that shit. Look at me, Neil. Look at me. Oh, yeah. And I want you guys to see that swing style that I'm doing. I learned it with Pono and his family. So I have a Hawaiian style swing, and anytime I go into an event, I'm gonna have them in my corner.
Amazing. Yeah, that's really cool insight, buddy. Nice. Were you surprised with his toughness?
I mean, I didn't know who he was until I walked up on the stage. You know what I mean? All I saw was just a big ass dude. So I mean, I was just fighting, bro. You know, I love that shit, man. They're just capturing our experience, and it's just amazing to watch back.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tough guy, man. Respect to Neil.
Yeah. I mean, that one wobbled you the most of all the 3. Doesn't look like you were ever really in trouble. Nice to see Dana laughing about it there. You feeling pretty good about this fight at this point?
Yeah, dude, I feel amazing, bro. Fuck yeah. Thank you to Power Slap and the UFC, Dana White, Frank, fucking Erica, bro. That shit's amazing, bro. I've wanted something like this all my life, bro. I've always thought I would be in things like this as a kid, just growing up, man. And so just to be a part of something is just fucking amazing.
That's awesome, man. How has life for you changed since you got off the show? You get back home. Have things been working out for you?
Yeah, so now I'm a bouncer at a nightclub, a really nice nightclub. It's called Louis over here in Westlake in California. It's really nice. I make good money there. I now have a home. Like I literally came back. Power Slap, I'm telling you guys right now, Power Slap changes lives. It literally gave me a home. And next week I get to have my son for the first time overnight. You know what I mean? And like that's because of Power Slap, man, and heart and just fucking will. And man, dude, so many people are gonna fucking tell you that you can't do shit. Fuck them, bro. There's so many people that you can look up to and put on a pedestal, but if they're not giving you that energy back, then fuck them, bro. There's so many Power Slap fighters that are going through like people giving them shit because they say it's not a martial arts, and you're going to these gyms and people are putting you out. You know, fuck them, bro. We're warriors.
Awesome, my man. I appreciate you joining me, Rayden. We've got your buddy Pono waiting in the wings. So I got to get him up there, but look forward to talking to you soon, hearing more about your story and your journey, and seeing you on round 2.
I see you guys next time.
All right, buddy. Take care, man. We'll talk to you soon. What a great guy that is. Ton of energy. Great story. California kid learning a little bit of that Hawaiian flair. Pono, how good does it feel to hear your boy up there giving you the props?
Dude, internally, I'm just dying. This guy is so funny. He has a personality on him for sure. I love it. Yeah, and it's it was an amazing experience, and to hear, that was the biggest thing, is like to hear the stories of everybody, and the trials and tribulations that everybody goes through, and how they're trying to make better in their life and try to be the best versions of themselves. And look at Rayden. Like this whole entire time I was waiting in the background, but I was really trying to pay attention to his fight, because I mean he just brings that personality, that flair, like, and that's what you want to see on the sport, as it grows and progresses. That's something that you can always look forward to watching on there. So yeah, it's an amazing experience.
Yeah, I mean, I got to ask you though, right off the top, how did you break your pinky finger? Because we didn't get to see how it actually happened, but when it did, were you worried?
honest right now, right? Because we also had like some previous stuff with Angel happen, and he asked me the question, "Hey, are you ready? You know, you seem like you're not ready." And when I answered him, you know, obviously it's the confidence in me trying to build up, but at that moment, to be really honest, I wasn't ready. I had a broken finger. I'm already coming into the fight 50% less than what it is, not at a full 100%. There was a bug going around, so Rayden mentioned it earlier. So there was a, you know, everybody was getting sick at a point in time. So maybe 3 days before the fight actually really is about to happen, I mean, I get the sickness that I've never felt before. You know, 105 fever. I'm laying in the tub trying to just cool myself down, and I start to panic. I'm thinking in my head like, man, it's not so much of the, you know, the person I'm facing. You know, we should never fear people in that sense, but it's more of like, man, am I gonna compete at 100%? No way. And it's like, this is not gonna happen. So doubts start to trickle in my mind, you know. And uh, originally it was because during the combine we were doing like the next stress test, and we had the opportunity to hit the power cube to kind of get your slap score up there. And when we're doing the next stress test, everybody's kind of surrounded, and they're just kind of like, you know, looking at you, and they're yelling, and it's just the hype, right? And it's like, come on, come on, come on. And then I hear somebody say, hey man, your next stress is solid, like your score is high. And I get up and I immediately go for like a punching motion towards my other hand. I catch the inside of my pinky on my right hand. And by the time I look back at it, it's already like split. It's going this way. And I'm like, oh no, I just messed up my whole opportunity being on this, you know, having the opportunity to be on Power Slap. I just messed everything up. And it's like, my finger is gone. It's like, this is my dominant hand, my hitting hand. I was like, what do I do now? So just after that, they had everybody line up for the power cube. And I'm like, well, I'm going to try to sneak into the left hand line and try to dominate with the left hand. And then somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody said, hey, it's like, aren't you right handed? It's like, you're in the wrong line. You got to jump over and you got to get in the right hand. And I'm like, no way. It's like, there's no way. It's like, my finger is gone already at this moment. So I jump in the right hand line and I'm waiting. And then they finally call me up, and I see everybody like looking at me, and they're expecting me to just, you know, clean shot this power cube and really put it down. And I hit it with very little power, because immediately as soon as I touched the cube, my pinky, I could hear it snap. And that was it. I was done for. I look at everybody's staring at me, and I'm kind of like embarrassed because I got a low score. And I'm like, man, they're not going to be happy with this. So I just walk it off. And as I'm walking away, I look at my finger, and this thing is just dangling. So I kind of brace it up and I hold it in place. And I see James Stonier, and he's right there. And he's, you know, he kind of talking to me, and he goes, hey, what's up, brother? You know, and I'm like, brother, look around for me real quick. He's like, is there any cameras on me? He's like, no. There's nothing. And I literally, I grab my pinky, I pull that sucker out, and I push it right back in. Cause I mean, like, natural to like, okay, I got to heal myself as quick as possible. Yeah. So I do that, and I try to set it in place. Then we go through, you know, lining up with everybody, and actually like talking about like what's gonna, like, okay, this is what's gonna happen next, right? You're gonna be battling this person, whatever. And I'm like, man, my finger is throbbing, and it's like that the whole entire time. And I really just didn't want to say anything about my finger, because I didn't want to lose that opportunity to be able to, you know, face off with somebody, to be able to do something I've never done before and have that experience. And you know, it was all heart at that moment. It was just like, hey, you know what, I got to snap out of this. I got to put my heart into it and really just get focused. But yeah, walking into that, I was already at less than 50%. And I was like, this is going to be the end of it right here. It's like, if I don't come with any power on my left hand strike, it's like, I'm going to look like the dumbest person alive, right? But yeah, you know, looking at the fight, everything turned around and power was still there, and we were able to succeed.
Yeah. I mean, you know, going through all that adversity, obviously, you know, in front of the cameras, the lights, all that stuff. Talk to me about being in the house, the camaraderie. You look, you know, you're somebody that I know I see you on social all the time. It looks like you built some really solid bonds. Do you feel like, you know, you gained some friends in life as well as opportunity in Power Slap? And talk to me about what that is like and really how it's changed your life.
for sure. Coming into the house, you know, overall, when you think about like, okay, what are you here for? And everybody's gonna say, hey, you know what? I'm here for the title. I'm here for the champ. I'm here to, gain this light. And I had to question myself in the very beginning of like, why am I really here? Is I want to make a statement and not so much. I mean, it's going to make a statement if I win a shot to fight somebody with a title, but I mean, I want to make a real statement. So when I got in there, and I immediately started talking to everybody and really try to, you know, listen. That was the biggest one, is just listen to everybody's story and see what adversity they're going through and the things that they've been doing their whole entire time and why they're there. And it gave me the opportunity to really learn a lot about everybody. I mean, some of the bigger names like Wes, you know learning about his business and being a bodyguard and all the people he knows and all the things that he's been going through, and obviously talking about his family and his mom, and like breaking things down. Rayden, another perfect example, is like the guy was going through so much. And in the very beginning, we're at the hotel, and he comes up to me, and a lot of people were kind of like skeptical of like walking up to me and talking to me, and they thought I was there for a different reason, right, to take to take everybody out. But to be really honest, I'm like Stonier said, it's like I'm a sweetheart at heart. I'm a big teddy bear. So even coming off like that and talking to everybody, and then getting to know their story, getting to know who they were, that was the biggest thing for me. Talking to everybody and being able to listen to what they had to say. And I feel like that's where I gained a lot, like just being able to be a safe space for everybody to talk, and for everybody to say what they have on their chest. And even in the house, I've always learned like that. I mean, my mom has brought me up well and taught me well, so it's like having the OCD part of it too, where it's like cleaning everything and cooking for people and trying to make sure that the house was all nice and tidy, and being able to be a light for people too, just guiding, just a little bit of things. We can do so much as human beings. And then if you have somebody that kind of like nudges you in the right direction, tries to give you the right words, tries to teach you a little bit about a little bit, you can go a lot further in life. So I was able to sit there with everybody. If I go by names, I mean, I'm gonna name the whole entire house. But it's yeah, that was the best experience ever, was just being in there, being able to not only learn about everybody else, but also learn about myself, who I was as a person. I come from humble beginnings, and I really wanted to set a different pace for the power slap community, for the power slap future, and just be like almost like the father like person in the house. Try not to be too pushy, but also try to keep it stern, so that way everybody stays on track, stays focused. You don't want to miss out on an opportunity of a lifetime. And as much as this is like something of where you can gain a lot of like respect from other people outside, right? It's like now we get to face the world. It's not people that just are within our circle. It's not just our family. Now everybody else gets to see who we are as genuine people. The best versions of ourselves. So, yeah, that the biggest things is to like building the relationships with a lot of the people. Even a Kazakh assassin, right? That guy, Alex, language barrier. That was the first
Mhm.
person I worked with in the hotel, right? He just dead stare. I was in the gym and he just kept on looking at me the whole entire time, and I was like, man, this guy, does he know that he's in a lighter weight class? He just keeps on staring at me with some problems. It looks like he has
Yeah.
problems, but it was the language barrier. And then as soon as I knew that, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me take out Google Translate real quick. I told him I had like a Taekwondo pad, like the regular hitting pad that we usually use. I have
Mhm.
one upstairs. Like, do you want to hit? And immediately, you know when he says yes or no, So he's like, yeah, I want to do it. So perfect. Then it became more of like it's a relationship building time now. Now it's this guy trying to really learn the craft and try to take in as much as he can. It's like we're all uh beginners in the sport. There's a lot of people that came to the house that had a little bit of background already in power slap, but
Mhm.
a lot of the people on there were like very new to this. You know, they've done MMA before, they've done all things, but I mean, you taking a random Joe off the street and trying to put him into a power slap competition with no understanding of, like, you know, the basic rules, but you don't know like what you got to do to brace, how you got to do when like the motions that you got to go through when you swing. There's, you know, a lot of key factors to getting this sport down to a science. And you know, as much as he was my opponent, I give it to Jinx. Jinx has a natural understanding of biomechanics. He is a personal trainer. He just has the fundamentals. Luke Simons, bodybuilder. You know, you're gonna see a lot more of that being a solid fighter in this sport, just because he has the mass. He knows how to build the muscle. He knows how to transfer it into actual, like, creating some kind of torque or with technique. So you're gonna see some amazing things from these people.
Yeah. I want to, reference something you said on the show. You said that you want to see a Hawaiian at the top of every weight division in power slap. Talk to me about what slap fighting, in general, means to the Hawaiian culture. And is there a history and lineage there, that kind of brought out that comment or that statement?
There's no real history in lineage. I mean, from warrior times, I mean, it's just the natural instinct to battle, right? To protect. But there's nothing where it's like slap was a very dominant thing. I think that was more like slap was more invented in India and in other parts of the world before it, it traveled over there. I mean, we never know back in the day what they were doing for slapping each other. But yeah, I feel like it's the spirit, it's the culture, it's the way that we're brought up and we're raised. And that's a normal thing in Hawaii, is like, you're gonna fight somebody one day, for sure it's gonna happen, and then you're gonna have to shake his hand, probably drink with him on the weekend, and then go right back to fighting him the next week after. And that's really like the culture, of not only just Hawaiians, but Samoan, Tongan, a lot of the Polynesian descent, is that, like, we're raised like that. Our families, you see it a lot in the family buildup. It's just there. So, like, with this, bringing what I said earlier about actually, like, bringing, like, Hawaiian to, like, the top of the every single weight class is, well, we're already looking at one now. You got the crazy Hawaiian at the top of the super heavyweights, right? And then I'm trying to make my way in the heavyweight division. Hopefully I can make it up there one day to be amongst the greats, like Damian DeBell and Dwayne Crespo and all these other guys that have, really pioneered the sport. But I want to see the uniting, like, just like how King Kamehameha united all the islands. I want to unite all the Hawaiian warriors at the very top. If you got Islander descent, we want to see you at the top, at champion level. So, you guys got some other highlights that's going to be coming out soon that that you guys are going to be happy with, but not to dive into that. I want to keep it a surprise for everybody. But yeah, Hawaii's gonna be, it's gonna be a dominating sport for us. We're gonna come in and we're gonna try to, do the best that we can to what we can do. It's just, I wanted to see more of that uniting, not just only with Hawaiians too. I want it with everybody. Like, I feel like the power slap fighters and the power slap community can be strengthened a lot more. I've been seeing, like, the past episode 26 you had with TJ, and, like, perfect example, exactly what he's doing. Finding and being able to have a place for the recruitment side of it, being able to train people, being able to show them exactly, like, what power slap is all about, and getting people ready. That's what it's all about, is getting people, like, mentally, physically ready for the sport. This is not a sport where you can just come in and, oh yeah, this, we're just gonna rule it because of the natural instinct in us. Is like, there's got to be some kind of training just in life. There's got to be some kind of regimen. So I like what TJ's doing with the sport, and I like what a lot of other power slap veterans are doing with the sport, and kind of just being able to try to grow it. And that's the key, is that we want to see this sport grow to the best of what it is. It's naturally going to grow itself, just from people joining in and, trying their best, it's going to grow. But, that would develop it a lot faster. Is that just having like a full on recruitment, like just a training camp for power slappers, instead of letting people come into like the season and not having that much of an experience.
Yeah, I hear you, my man. Let's get into your fight. It's getting dark. I'm starting to lose you a little bit. So let's break into it, my man. All right. I want you to narrate for me. All right. So you still have the higher of the slap score. Can you hear me, my man?
Yes. Yeah, I got you. I'm zoning in.
Okay. Awesome.
Every time I watch this, is just like, because we got to see a little bit of like the clips of what we did, but then but not the whole entire thing. So it's an amazing thing to see right here. So I'm already just kind of, you can see I'm in a flex, just even staring at the referee, right? The stomp. Yeah. I'm already just preparing myself, and this right here is just me talking to him. We had some moments in the house that seemed kind of iffy, like almost like a test of hey, you know what, I want to put it on you a little bit more and try to make you wary a little bit more, and obviously that didn't work. it just ignited more of a fire in me, just being like, hey, you know what, the only person you have to beat is yourself. You've got a broken pinky, you're sick, right? And it's like, we just got to get past all this. And Dana really actually had that comment to say to me. He told me, like, this is going to be your chance. And it's like, are you going to hit with your left hand? Yeah, of course I am. I'm not going to say no. It's like, I'm definitely going to go out there and compete. And he's like, well, that could be your last chance. You got to make sure that you make it count. And that resonated with me all the way into this. So he's lining up. I see his wind up right here, and he doesn't go as far back as what he should have. He's kind of locked up in that position. He's locking up all his muscles to try to get that launch from the very beginning, but it doesn't work out in that way, because I can see his hand. If I can still see your hand, I can kind of anticipate what speed that's going to come at, right? So if it's going to have more power, which that one had more power than speed, he should have increased the speed, and that would have been lights out. So this one right here, okay, let's talk about this, right? So first slap is sent. I don't have proper space in between me and Jenkins. So when I'm looking at him, I feel like I'm further than what I am. I'm like, oh, okay, this is good enough for me right here, but I'm still too close. So that's what caused the club, is that I'm standing too close to him. It's my first time. Nerves are kicking a little bit. I'm kind of angry at this point. It should be more of like me jumping over the podium and just really just lighting him up with hands, instead of like a slap and I have to wait for it, right? But I'm just trying to just hone in and not do what I naturally would do. And that second slap, right, as soon as I'm lining up, right, I notice, and not only that, but in the crowd, right, I hear the voice of God, right, where he says, hey, step back. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, let me look down really quick. Okay, yeah, I'm way too close. And then I adjust. So they don't show it where I adjust my slap. They kind of just speed it up a little bit just to get to the part where I actually make contact. But before that, I had like full on step back. I was able to, get a better distance with my hand. And then like just what Rayden was saying earlier about like that Hawaiian style slap, is I've tried to implement a little lean into it, where I do that. My brother does that. You're going to see it later on down the line that, some of the other fighters in the house, they practice the same style and technique, where it has a little bit of a lean, where you're crossing the plane on the opposite side, bringing the body back over, and then transferring the weight all the way across. And I think it's a good technique. If it works for you guys, it works for you guys. If it, obviously it works for me, and that's the way I've been training. So, and I've seen the other success with it, right? Just by watching the previous fights, people trying to like get that little lean in when they have their hand up. It shows that that style is pretty strong. So yeah, on that one, I already see it. I line up, I get the distance. Now I can feel it, and immediately, as soon as I know that I got a good amount of distance from him, I look at him straight in his eyes, and I'm like, "Bye bye." Like, it's done. This is your end, and I crank back and send it. The best way to explain it is just like how Luke said. It's like magic. It just poof, disappears. So by the time my hand touches his face, I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. It just goes right through him. And then by the time I turn to look back, and I'm staring down the pipe, and I'm like, "Where'd this guy? Wait, he's on the ground. Oh, this is it right here." And then the fireworks start going inside. I do a whole entire like sacrificing show where I put him on the podium. I chop his head off with a weapon of choice. You have the strangle rope, you have the pahoa, which is the smaller knife, and I break that thing out, chop his head off. I take his head, I show it to everybody. So you see a little clip of that at the very end where I'm kind of putting my hand up in the air like this. It's because I'm showing everybody his head. I put it in the bag, I tie it up, and it's on to the next. So.
I hear you, my man. I mean, going up there with your left, definitely something you probably didn't get to practice too much for. Now you see that you have the power in the left. Do you still prefer the right, or is there something in your mind that maybe there's some extra magic in that left hand?
I feel like the left is always going to be still solid. I mean, I had training with it. I did training with it, but it wasn't to the extent of how my right hand is. And now, I mean, it just solidifies like whatever I just did with my left hand. I mean, I can only imagine with the connection on the right hand how that's going to affect a lot of people. It's going to be hard to fight the right hand. It's just because I can feel that the power is there. The power is there, the speed is there. It's a lot more accurate than the left hand. Left hand kind of drags a little bit behind. The right hand will be on point. No fouling this time on the first whack.
You kind of seem to be a natural leader in the house. Where did that come from? Is that just who you are naturally, or did you kind of step up in the house to kind of play that role?
It's who I am naturally. I mean, I try to be the best that I can be for what I can, and it's that already. And then I have just like how everybody was saying about like having a regimen. I try to dial myself into having that type of mentality all the time, right? You have to be regimented. You have to be disciplined. We slip from time to time. That's just normal. It's natural for us, right? But majority of the time, you have to run it that way. And it's just because it's just a better way to do it. It's like you don't miss steps. You don't skip things. You go step by step by step. You break everything down. You understand it a lot better. So, it just comes natural that the whole guiding people. I worked for the UFC gym. I opened up a lot of the UFC gyms here in San Diego, where I'm living now, and having that opportunity to work in that field and having different people under you, like personal trainers, and it's hard for like a personal trainer to gain new clients and break through like the barriers of like their objections and why they don't want to work out or why it's been happening like all this time. And you have to train that. So a lot of that has to do with the sales aspect of it too, is just being able to talk to people, being able to relate to people, finding out like what's their why. Well, why are you here? Why are you trying to lose weight? Why are you trying to be fit? Do you have a bigger cause? Is it family back home? Is it you getting ready for an event, whatever it may be? And having that type of background really shapes me as a person to be like, hey, you know what? I can easily just open up and talk to somebody and just say, hey, you know what's going on? And then give a little bit of insight. Sometimes I feel like we give a lot of advice. Sometimes we don't follow our own advice, and I fall suit to some of that some of the time. But majority of the time, if you're doing the right things and staying on the right path, you're gonna get better results. So that's what I believe.
Awesome, my man. I appreciate you joining me here on the Final Slap. Great to talk with you. I want to set something up with you with an interview here in the next day or two. Want to get your backstory, your great personality. Look forward to seeing you in round 2 and everything you have to give in the world of Power Slap, my man.
All right, Corey. Thank you for everything.
All right. Take care. We'll talk soon.
All right, my brother.
All right. Pono Paul just finished up with him. Great fight with the left hand. Going to get him back real soon and get more to his story. Natural born leader. Great, punctually able to express himself. And what a phenomenal night of fights overall. All three of them are bangers. I appreciate everybody who's tuned into this. We work incredibly hard to bring you 2 live shows. We're going to be back next week on Tuesday with Smack Talk on our new time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. in the East. I'm going to sign off for now. Appreciate you, whatever you're watching us, either it's YouTube, Facebook, or on Rumble. If you can do us a favor, give us a like, give us a subscribe, drop any comments in there. All that helps the algorithm. Much love, and until next time, you can check out our catalog, YouTube. We've got more original clips than anybody else on the internet, pushing upwards of 700 pieces of content now on YouTube. Take care. Signing off. I'm Corey Swergos. We'll be back again next week.